Mistwinter Bay has always been a game that mainly focuses on the characters, more specifically the interactions between the player and the people living in the town that the game is named after. But wouldn't it be more fun if the characters had a life outside of what the player sees? We've always made it clear that the player can marry whichever character they want in Mistwinter Bay, but what about the ones you don't want to marry? What if they could marry each other? Perhaps with your help as a matchmaker? Introducing Mistwinter Bay's newest feature, the ability to pair townsfolk up with each other and create romantic couples. We've had this in mind for a while now, and it's actually already available in the game's demo, under very specific circumstances. The reason why we haven't mentioned it before is because it's a pretty minor feature. Recently we've expanded the gameplay impact of creating couples, so we thought it finally warrants its own explanation. First off, where can you find this feature in the demo? It's during one of Neferu's negative reputation events, more specifically the one that occurs when there is at least one male townsperson in town. In this event, Neferu introduces the player to a randomly picked male character who she wants to enter a relationship with. The male character also wants that, but it's up to the player to decide if they can get together. If they do, they get happy and they become unavailable for the player to marry. If they don't, they get mad. Even though the male character is randomly picked, there are a few restrictions to prevent relationships that wouldn't make sense based on lore and the player's reputation with the male character. But most male characters would be interested in Neferu. Neferu's negative reputation event has the foundation of how to create a couple. Basically, the player gets presented with a choice to either allow the characters to get together or not. But the reasons behind why Neferu and the random male character get together may be very different to the other events where the player may create couples. In the full game, there is currently a personal quest and a short monthly event that also makes it possible to pair up specific townspeople. We will probably add 2 to 3 more events where you can create couples, but as you can probably tell, it will still be very rare and not even something that's guaranteed to happen during a playthrough. Since it is so rare, we don't want to make it very complex. Still, since the townspeople who become a couple also become unavailable for marriage, which means you can't give them gifts or influence their reputation in any way, and it is pretty difficult to pair them up due to the event's scarcity, we feel like there should be some type of reward if you manage to do that. We had a few suggestions in mind and decided to ask our lovely patrons what they thought would be a good reward for creating a couple. But before we get to the rewards, let's explain what exactly happens when a couple is created. A couple can only be created in some sort of event. In the event, the player will be presented with dialogue options to allow 2 townspersons to become a couple or not. Declining may make the characters detest the player and become unavailable for marriage, or they will accept it and still be available for marriage. That depends on which event it is. Accepting will make both townspersons become unavailable for marriage. If they do become a couple, they will have a line of text in their character roster page explaining who they're in a relationship with. Even if one of the townspersons in a couple moves out, dies, gets imprisoned, etc., the other character will still remain in the relationship and be unavailable for marriage for the rest of the game. In other words, once a couple is created, it can't be broken up. So what would a player gain from creating couples other than the satisfaction of playing matchmaker? Well, that's where a recent addition to the feature comes in. The player will now receive a collection item that is a sort of document stating that the couple is approved by the player. This feels reasonable in a narrative sense, since the player has to actively approve of the relationship because both of the characters involved work for them. It also makes sense from a mechanical perspective, since we can attach all sorts of resource increases and other features to this collection item. Each couple would have their own document, meaning that the player can have multiple of them. A specific document and all its benefits are removed from the collection if one of the townspersons in the couple moves out, dies, gets imprisoned, etc. But as previously mentioned, the other character in the relationship is still unavailable for marriage, emotionally and gameplay-wise. This system presents somewhat of a gameplay challenge where the player should try to keep both townspersons happy in order to keep the benefits of the relationship. As for what the document actually provides, with a push from our patrons in the right direction, we decided that it would boost the gold production of the 2 townspersons' buildings. Narratively, you can think of this as the characters being happy and willing to work harder at their jobs. Furthermore, we decided that the document will improve some of the characters' skills. In case you didn't know, every character in Mistwinter Bay has their own skills or stats. The possible skills are strength, stealth, magic, wisdom, knowledge, charm, religion, diplomacy, and healing. Townsfolk have a total of 200 skill points divided across these skills, with 0 being the lowest possible value and 50 being the highest. These skills determine how well they perform in certain scenarios, usually when you send them out during events. The idea is that the marriage candidates will teach each other what they're good at. This means that if one of the characters is bad at a skill that the other is good at, they get additional points in that skill. So, let's say that you really want to pair up Gale and Dawn. A very interesting couple for sure. Gale has a lot of strength points, while Dawn, as the Valerie's priestess, obviously has a lot of religion points. The result will be that Gale teaches Dawn to get stronger, and Dawn teaches Gale about religion. The increase will be 10 points total per character. It will, however, not be applied to skills that already have 40 to 50 points, or are difficult to influence in a narrative sense, like magic. So instead of Dawn, let's say that you pair up Gale and Yamileth, who both have a lot of strength. In this case, Gale can't teach Yamileth his high skill since she already has over 40 strength. It will feel pretty useless if Yamileth didn't gain anything from the marriage, so here's the step-by-step solution we came up with to make sure that there will always be some sort of stat increase. Step 1. Check each partner's 3 highest skills. Step 2. Check each partner's 3 lowest skills. Step 3. Check overlapping skills. If either of partner 2's highest skills are the same as partner 1's lowest skills, increase partner 1's corresponding skill with 10 points. Repeat the process for partner 2. Step 4. Prioritize the partner's lowest skills. If none of the partner 2's highest skills are the same type as partner 1's lowest skills, look at partner 1's lowest skills and compare them to partner 2's skills of the same type. If partner 2's skills are 10 points or higher than 1's, increase that skill with 10 points. Repeat the process for partner 2. Step 5. If partner 1 still hasn't gotten a skill increase, go through every skill and compare it to partner 2. As soon as partner 1 has a higher skill of some sort, increase partner 1's skill of that type with 10 points. Repeat the process for partner 2. There's a special exception for magic in each step of the process. If a character has less than 10 magic from the start, it won't be increased no matter what. Less than 10 magic basically means that they can't use it at all, so it wouldn't make any sense that their partner can make them use it when their internal energy prohibits it. With this information in mind, let's go back to Yamileth and Gale. Yamileth will teach Gale wisdom, and Gale will teach Yamileth stealth. By sharing these skills, both of them become viable for more send-out missions, which is the main gameplay bonus we're after. But we also know that these skill increases are practically impossible to see, which is why we decided to add a monthly gold production increase to each character's building too. We have some more ideas for small features that will make the characters in Mistwinter Bay feel even more fleshed out, but we'll touch more on that when it's actually implemented. Hopefully this video has made you excited about the upcoming game. Don't forget to wishlist it on Steam if you haven't already. Lastly, I want to say a big thank you to our patrons who helped in creating this new feature, and also for supporting the development of Mistwinter Bay. We also have a Discord server that is free for anyone to join for discussions and weekly updates on the game. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye!